Review of the international press here on France 24, and Florence Villeminot is in studio with me. Hi, Flo. Of course, focus now on these allegations of US spying against German Chancellor Angela Merkel.
That's right. Now, the weekly that leaked this was Der Spiegel, so let's take a look at the article that was behind this whole leak. Did the US tap Chancellor Angela Merkel's phone, her private cell phone, for years? And you must keep in mind that phone tapping is a very sensitive issue in Germany because of the country's history, especially because of the Stasi's invasive domestic surveillance program. So the German government is taking this very, very, very seriously. And Merkel actually called Obama, demanding an explanation, saying that tapping her mobile was completely unacceptable. And you can see her making a phone call, maybe not to Obama, but on the front page of The Guardian today, where she says, "Are you bugging my phone?" That's her question to Barack Obama. Now, officially, the administration has said that it is currently not bugging her phone, and it won't in the future. But what about the past? That's what everyone wants to know. Was Obama listening the whole time? And check out this photo in Bild, the German daily today. You can see them talking there, but Obama has quite a big ear.
Yes, very careful language being used today. We're all wondering, of course, about the past, and comes hot on the heels of other revelations that from Le Monde, of course, during the week, that the NSA had been spying on France.
That's right. Le Monde says the NSA gained access to over 70 million calls made in France over a 30-day period. So a lot of the press is still focusing on this. This is a cartoon in China Daily today where you see a very stereotypical Frenchman there with his beret and the Eiffel Tower in the background, looking very suspiciously at his cell phone there. And you can perhaps see little teeny Uncle Sam popping out of the phone, tending his ear there.
Papers tend to disagree, though, on what could be the repercussions of the revelations that we're hearing.
That's right. Well, the International New York Times, for instance, says that all this has provoked one diplomatic aftershock after another. This is the editorial today, and it says that the scale of the U.S. eavesdropping has angered its allies and also undercuts America's influence, specifically its soft power. And soft power is this concept that countries can have an ability to gain influence across the world by some sort of an example or moral leadership. So the International New York Times says all this is put in question. The Wall Street Journal, however, is trying to play things down and says, sure, America is spying on its allies, but everyone is doing it. And this is the editorial in the Wall Street Journal today. It says that even friendly countries spy on each other. So France really is crying crocodile tears here. All this is fair game. And in fact, if you read an interview today in Le Figaro with the head of the former head, rather, of the French intelligence service, he says just that. He says, even if allies cooperate in terms of the fight against global terrorism, they're still spying on each other. This is Bernard Squarcini, and to quote him, he says, "We too spy on Americans in terms of business and industry. It's in our national interest." And so that's what you can read today in Le Figaro.
Tit for tat, you can be sure of that. And Flo, Prince George crossing over to Britain, his baptism is getting a lot of attention.
That's right, and guess who's covering this extensively? Well, the Daily Mail. You can read about it today. Here's the front page. It says that His Royal Highness grumped, but by George, he's gorgeous. And they have a 14-page special today on this royal christening, so run, get your copy. They said that he was on his very best behavior, perfect royal etiquette, and they also focus on the family resemblance and say that, well, he looks a lot like Queen Victoria in terms of his profile and his father in terms of his chubby cheeks. But another topic that keeps coming up about this royal christening is that, well, by standards of a lot of other royal baptism, this was a very modest one. And so, according to the Christian Science Monitor, this is proof that the current royal family, well, is quite ordinary these days. But also, it's indicative of a kind of belt tightening that's going on among the royal family, and a hint of humbler times to come for the British royals.
Of course, it has to be pointed out that his little outfit matched that of his mother's, of course. Finally, Flo, according to a recent Australian discovery, money really does grow on trees.
That's right. Now, what is this all about? Well, Australian scientists have found tiny specks of gold in eucalyptus and gum trees. Now, how is this possible? Well, the roots of these trees seem to suck up water that contained the precious metal. So that's how they ended up in the leaves. Now, the particles are minute. They're invisible to the naked eye. So it would take about, for instance, 500 trees just to make a wedding ring. So according to The Independent, it's unlikely to spark a gold rush, but this discovery could really revolutionize gold exploration because it would mean that mining companies would be able to spot gold by finding these trees with gold elements in the leaves, so they wouldn't have to drill as much, so it would save them time and money.
Okay, a flashy ending to our review of the international press. Thank you very much, Florence Villeminot, for coming into studio, and France 24. A quick break now for the international weather, but stay with us. All your main world news is coming up, including all the latest on the new spying allegations against the US, accused of tapping, of course, German Chancellor Angela Merkel's mobile phone. Don't go away.